Hello and welcome back to my channel where I like to have fun with all things beauty while being critical about what I accept into my collection. Today I am doing a low-buy check-in. So that's just where I'm coming on here and talking about my plans for purchasing in 2025. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because this is not like a fully fleshed out thing. This is very much a work in progress. So, for example, I don't have like a group of rules clearly defined to talk about how exactly this is going to go. I am really coming on here for the sole purpose of holding myself accountable. In the past, I have mused with the idea of doing a low buy, but I never made an official statement about it. And because of that, it made it completely easy for that to just go out the window when the mood struck. So this is my attempt of being at least somewhat accountable. Now, if I was being stricter and going on a 100% no buy, in some ways that would be a lot more straightforward. There's a lot less rules when you just say no to everything. I'm not really at that point yet. If this does not go well though, I will absolutely consider changing it from a low buy to a no buy. It kind of depends on when spring comes and things heat up and there's a lot more new releases, it just becomes more tempting. Like it's almost easy for me to sit here, especially in December when there was like nothing new. Once I was done with holiday shopping, it was so easy for me to be like, I'm not going to buy anything next year, but that's because there was nothing I wanted. So this is going to look a lot different. I don't know what all the pitfalls might be. I don't know what I am not seeing yet because I haven't really ever done this officially. I've done no buys like in my private life years ago, but even that was always tied to a very specific financial goal. So it was like once I met that financial goal, I was done and I could purchase things again. And honestly, when I wasn't really that into makeup, it was not a problem. It's only been the past few years that I'm looking at my collection and I'm like, this is overwhelming and it's not bringing me joy anymore. And I need to make changes more than just for a specific thing. There's not one specific thing that I'm saving for. So when it's vaguer like that, in my experience, it just makes it a little bit more difficult for me to focus. I'm really good at saving for a reason. What I'm not good at is changing my behaviors for not one specific reason, but for more of the underlying feeling behind it. And I've already mentioned that this low buy is not purely financially motivated, but that is certainly part of it. So that's the concrete metric that I can look at here. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. When I first set out to do this, I was going to do it budget. So I was going to do it by dollar amount. But I almost feel like that's going to really promote me to look at sales and to get really sucked into sales. And I think my two biggest weak points are anything on sale. I'm just a total sucker for a deal. And number two is indie, especially eyeshadows, because it's my favorite part of makeup. But on top of that, a lot of times that stuff tends to be more limited edition. So I get the sense of urgency more than like a mainstream brand that I could pick it up at any time. Like I don't feel the same feeling that I could just get it during the next sale or when it makes the most sense. When there's a new indie eyeshadow release, I want to get it before it sells out. I don't know if it's going to be permanent or I just want to be part of the club. I just want to know what it's like. That's how I felt about the new Singe Beauty palette that just came out. I just wanted to know. That was my main motivation. I don't think it's limited edition in any way, shape, or form. If anything, if I wait, I could probably get it in the future for a better price, but I just wanted to know. So, I'm definitely, those are two things that are my weaknesses, and I could see myself looking at a budget and then trying to get a bunch of stuff on sale. So I'm not really going to do that. I'm going to instead say one makeup item per month. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just change the rules and I'll accommodate it to fit what my weaknesses are. And some of those I can see ahead of time and some of them I don't. Like last year I had a big problem with candles. I don't know what happened, but I bought way too many candles. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that that was going to be my thing in 2024, but it was. So this year, I'm trying to make it a year-long conscious consumerism. I'm critical beauty. Like, I always try to be conscious. That's the whole point of this channel, is to review things and try to help other people save money. That's been my thing from day one. So I'm not trying to like reinvent my channel, but I was starting to spend a lot more money on even new releases. You know, I don't make money on YouTube, on Instagram, anywhere. So I have no excuse. I have no legitimate reason that I personally, with the collection that I have, need to be doing that. You know, I would love to someday, and that would be a lot of fun, but that's not where I'm at. So I'm going to try to be very realistic with myself. That, and I did, you know, I have noticed there's a lot of creators right now who are like, this is too much. I gotta stop. Like, I can't keep buying at this pace, even the people who are making money doing it, because it does get overwhelming at a certain point. And I feel like makeup has been really good for a while now. I do really believe that there has been a huge shift in the quality of products. Like, it's not the way it was even 10 years ago. It is certainly nothing like it was when I was in high school. You know, there was a lot of bad makeup, and I feel like things have gotten so good and the competition has made it get so good that, dare I say, innovation is nice, but it doesn't feel necessary. I don't feel motivated to try the next greatest bronzer, for example, because my bronzer is not terrible. It's not patchy. It's not muddy. It's not like all the things that I used to have an issue with things like bronzer, for example. It's not really happening. So if I'm trying a new bronzer, it's mostly because the color is a little different or the finish is ever so slightly different or whatever. It's very small little nuanced things. And at the end of the day, to the naked eye, how perceivable are they? Like, that, and I feel like a lot of us know what we like. We know what kind of formula we like now. We don't need to try everything. I feel like I went through a lot of growing pains in the past 2 or 3 years, because prior to that, I wasn't really using good makeup. And I, to some extent, had an excuse for trying a lot of things because that is how I found what I liked. But now I'm at a point where I have my favorites, and I don't think any of this is an urgent necessity. So we have that going on. We have, you know, the environmental impact. This hyper consumerism that we've been in as a society, like especially the last 10 years, it feels icky now. It doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel indulgent. It's starting to feel embarrassing. And I know I'm not the only one in that boat. So I think that plays a part. Not gonna lie, the state of the world. You know, when I first decided to do this low buy, my start date was gonna be January 20th, because do I think that that matters? No, I don't. But I can be petty sometimes. That was like my little way of letting my grievance be known. You know, I think that's all silly. But what I do think is, I think we have some turbulence ahead. And I think anytime we have uncertainty, you know, most of us want to save money. Like, we don't want to be spending like the economy is in great shape when a lot of us don't know what's going to happen to prices of things and all of that. And I would just rather err on the side of caution. So that's definitely playing a part. And I thought that it was important to mention that I think a lot of us are becoming wise to the fact that sometimes self-care is not spending money. Like, sometimes actual self-care means either saving money or using it differently. So not buying products. You know, I think we've been marketed to that for so long now, thinking that self-care is a body wash, when self-care is not that simple. And, you know, I feel better about myself when I'm spending wiser. So that is actual self-care. Or putting it towards a good cause. Like, I know, you know, the donating to the wildfire disaster relief in Los Angeles, that's something I feel good about. So just spending money differently, I think, can have a much better impact on us emotionally. It's worth mentioning that. That's why this isn't so much a straightforward low buy as it is just spending differently and trying to practice actual self-care in the process. all of these reasons combined sort of made it feel right. A few days ago, this is actually the third video that I've made, not just about a low buy, but I have an empties video and I have some other videos that I'm waiting to post. I've had technical issues, audio, it's always something. So I'm really trying to get back into the groove of things, and I'm rusty and it's coming slower than I had hoped. It's too soon, at least for me, to know what the next couple years are going to be like. And I think once we get into that, I'm hopefully going to have a better idea of what my financial goals are going to look like. But at least at this point, I'm going to make my main goal just to have a better relationship with spending. I don't want to feel guilty. I felt kind of icky after the last Sephora sale, and I don't want to keep feeling like that. So I'm letting that be my motivation. And as time goes on, I will touch base and talk about how it's going. And I'll talk about what else comes up, like when the Sephora sale comes. Like, how the heck am I going to handle that? I'm actually really good at not giving Sephora any of my money outside of those 2 sales twice a year. But let me tell you, I make up for it because I spend like $1,000 during those sales. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But at least for now, I wanted to hop on here and just get something posted. And, I am going to work on those other videos. I have a bunch of stuff in the works, but if the audio and the video both decide to work for this, hopefully this will get the ball rolling. And hopefully I'll see you next week. And I hope everybody is having a beautiful evening. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.